Okay, so there are three things that you need to know before this story begins about me. One is that I'm a director. Two is that I am a hopeless romantic. And three is that if you know what attachment styles are, mine is anxious. Great. So, last summer, I get a call from my friend Aaron, an old friend of mine who lives out on the West Coast and was coming to Philly for a work conference and wanted to catch up and get a drink. So we're at a bar catching up, and at one point I say, "Oh, you know, Aaron, I still get compliments all the time on the website that you designed for me 6 years ago. Really great work. I can't believe it's amazing." And Aaron's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that happened so long ago. I always forget about it, but sometimes I'm reminded because, funnily enough, I'm still copied on your form submissions." And I was like, "I don't know what that means." And Aaron was like, "So every time someone fills out the Contact Me form on your website, it sends you an email, and I'm CC'd on that email with all the content that someone filled out," which didn't make any sense to me. And so I said, "Aaron, no one's ever filled out my Contact Me form before." And that's when I realized that for the last 6 years, Aaron has been getting every single one of my emails. Every single time someone filled out the Contact Me form, it wasn't sent to me, it was sent to Aaron. So I beg Aaron to scroll through their email, find as many of them as they possibly can, and forward them to me. So the next morning, I wake up, I'm laying in bed, and I'm scrolling through these emails, and they predominantly fell into 3 categories. The first was spam. As we all know, the usual, let us optimize your search engine optimization stuff. So I deleted all of that. The second were emails from other artists who wanted to get coffee and wanted to connect, and I never responded to a single one of them because I never got them. And then there were job offers, people who had seen my work, liked it, and wanted to work with me, and I never got any of those over the last 6 years either. But the one email that really affected me was from my high school ex-girlfriend. I'm not on social media, and I haven't been for a very long time, and so she had been trying to find me and trying to get in touch with me, and eventually found my website and filled out the Contact Me form, and which sent an email to my friend Aaron 3.5 years ago. This was the first person who I ever was in a serious relationship, my first love, the person I lost my virginity to, the first person who I ever came out to as trans before I had the words to describe it. We broke up when we both eventually went off to college, and years later I had reached out a number of times and sent her some text messages, "Hey, hope you're doing well, not trying to start anything, just saw this movie and I thought of you. How are things going?" And every time I sent a text like that, it was just left on read. No response, just left on read. And so for years, I began interpreting that to mean that I had done something wrong, that I had been a bad partner in some way, and that I had mistreated her. And I carried a lot of guilt and shame about that. And then I got this email. And at the end of the email, she wrote, "I got a new phone number when I moved away to college. I'd love if you called me sometime." And I found out that all of those years I'd been sending those text messages to her, trying to reconnect, she hadn't gotten a single one of them. So we meet up for coffee, and we chatted and caught up and had a lot of closure. And the hopeless romantic in me wants to say that we reconnected on this deep level and that we got together, but in actuality, I haven't heard from her in the last year. But this time, I don't interpret that silence anymore. Thank you.